What is going on YouTube? Hummus Thunder here, bringing you another video today. Now it's not actually going to be a Black Ops 4 video. I'm actually going to be doing an Apex Legends video, as that's the game everybody is talking about. So with that being said, the video today is going to be about the legends that we can currently play as. And what I did is I went ahead and compiled a list as to what I believe is the best legend to the worst. Now by no means are these legends bad. I'm just comparing them as to how playable they are in today's meta. Now, the list might not be the same as yours. I understand that you may not agree with everything I say. So please, if you find a disagreement, comment down below what you think your list is. I'll be more than happy to take a look at it, comment, and get a conversation going. Being said, let's get right into the video. I hope you enjoy, and if you did, please be sure to hit that subscribe button as well as hit that notification bell so you could be the first one to get updated whenever I post. Let's get right into it. The way the ranking system is going to work is I'm going to rank them from worst to best, so starting from the 8th to the first spot. And I will include Caustic and Mirage. I've been able to play with some of them, so I'm going to let you know what exactly I think of those two as well. So in the number 8 spot, I actually put Pathfinder, and really to me Pathfinder is the definition of a hero who really doesn't add much to any team. You know, firstly, his passive is basically useless, in my opinion. It tells you the next zone, but in this game I find out there really is no point in knowing what the next zone is. Generally, you're going to want to play the outskirts of the zone in any battle royale game, be that Blackout, be that Fortnite, or be that Apex Legends. So you're rarely ever going to need to know the next location to avoid damage. You're going to always try to play the outside. Moving on to his tactical, the grappling hook, it only is marginally better than his passive because everyone can already mantle so high. You know, that's one of the things that makes this game different, is the mantling as well as the ping, but that's for a different video. It just makes it basically useless, except in some rare areas where I have found out playing with Pathfinder that his grappling hook does come in clutch, but it really isn't to an extent where it makes a really big difference no matter where you go. You know, and the movement boost it gives you, it's cool, but it's not something like that pushes him past this number 7 or number 6 spot. But lastly, his ultimate, it's a slightly better than his tactical. You know, it does really excel at mid game, but falls horribly flat on its face when you need it at any other kind of moment. Early game, you don't really have to use it. Late game, it leaves you too exposed to the enemies, so it's basically a death trap at that point. But mid game, the reason why it's the best time to use it but still not worth it is because other enemies can continuously use it as well, as it doesn't really fade into the Wraith's portals, nor does it move you as fast. And that's of course in regards to the zip line that you can provide for your entire team. So that's the reason why I put Pathfinder at number 8. Moving on to the number 7 spot, I actually put Caustic. Now Caustic is one of the microtransaction characters, but I'll dive deeper into why I put him at number 7. Now Caustic currently suffers from being essentially useless in any scenario except absolute endgame. Honestly, he doesn't have that good of a passive either. Now his gas tanks, while they are useful, they're easily countered by Bloodhound detecting them with his tactical, and even when they do go off, they're basically nothing more than annoyances for people who know how to play the game or have been playing it for a little bit while. Now you may get by people who just started the game, but one of the downfalls about Caustic is his passive does give you the ability to see through the gas, and you can see enemies when they can't see you, which is pretty useful. And that's exactly why with the full squad with communication, he does become a very valuable endgame asset. You know, you're able to alert allies when his tanks go off, or you can use his tanks to bunker down an entire area and let your teammates know exactly where everyone is. Moving on to his gas grenades, they can blanket a very large area, preventing any hostile movement. So what you can do is you can pin down an area for your teammates to kind of hold down, especially towards end game, and that'll also damage them and it'll snare them at the same exact time. But that's really all he's useful for, is what I found out. He does have a small amount of usefulness early game with his tactical, but he quickly loses that as the game progresses, which is why he really won't help you when you're in the mid game. Endgame, expect Caustic to be a really scary person to go up against. Number 6 on this list is actually going to be Mirage. Now I've played with Mirage a little bit. I mean, he is another microtransaction character. He is a little better than Caustic, but the reason why I put him at number 6 is I find him to be very overrated. You know, people talk about how Mirage is so good, but in reality, I don't think he meshes well with the legends at all. His main abilities are just to confuse people, and it doesn't really work well once other players have gotten accustomed to him on the battlefield. And that's becoming more and more frequent as you keep seeing Mirages over and over now. What his passive does, it gives him the ability to go invisible when he goes down to get to cover. I don't find that to be really useful because people in this game don't thirst as much as they would in Blackout or in Fortnite, as far as what I've seen. Now moving on to his tactical, he has the Psych Out. So what that does is sends one decoy towards a target location. You can kind of tell when that's a decoy coming at you. Now, if you haven't ever played the game before, yes, you'll get very confused as to what is coming at you. You'll think that's actually the character when it's not. So really, his tactical and even his ultimate only benefits from individuals who haven't really played the game before. Now, that does go on to his ultimate. You know, it's arguably worse than his tactical because it just deploys a large amount of the decoys, but they're all stationary. They all just stand there, insanely obvious as to that's not the actual character, that's just a decoy. Like I said, that'll only fool new players, not veterans or people who've been playing for a while. Now, it can be useful when paired with Bangalore smokes to confuse that enemy team, because at that point they'll just see shit running at them and they'll be pretty confused. Number 5 on this list is actually going to be Lifeline. Now, a lot of you might not agree with me. I might actually get some backlash for this, but I think Lifeline is actually a really good character, but I think she excels best early to mid game. The reason why I say that is her passive is useful, but for attrition based fights, those aren't really too common in this game, and that's when I think they excel the most. If you've ever played this game, a lot of the fights are fairly fast after the first knock. Unless you have a Bangalore to smoke everybody out while you go and revive your teammate who's down, it's going to be kind of tough for you to really get the full benefits of that passive, of that ability. You're going to be really busy trying to exercise that passive while there's other things going on. Now, post fight, she really does excel with that med bot. I think that's actually really good for when your teammates are all injured. Load up that medical bot, have everyone start healing up. It can really help you conserve a lot of your resources for not only you, but your teammates as well. Finally, her ultimate, it can give your team incredible items: the supply drop, the massive, the Kraber, attachments, meds, anything you want. However, using a care package in a zone, I find it to be incredibly risky. It kind of puts a red dot on your head, like here we are, come rob us, come take our shit, do whatever you want. You just got to be really careful on where you call these supply drops. You know, I only use them when I know it's just about to be overtaken by the storm, as to not alert enemies to our immediate location. So I kind of do it so either the storm is just about to get our ass or it's coming, so people don't push that area. And that comes back to people who do use it incorrectly. I love seeing a care package not too far away by the circle. I just ping it, have my team go by and take everyone out, take all the stuff that they got from it, just because they don't know how to use that care package. I do think she's great. You just got to be careful using some of her abilities. You got to pair it with other legends, or just got to be careful using that care package. In the number 4 spot, I actually put Wraith. She's used by a lot of people. I actually used her first when I started this game. That was the first legend that I used, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you still use her to this day. But there is one thing we can all agree on, and that's she needs a buff to her tactical. The Void allows her to take a break from the fight for a second, but the amount of time that it takes to take your gun out as soon as you get out of that tactical is too long, and that has led me to get taken down multiple times, and that's why I think she needs a buff there. And not to mention that you can use your tactical while you're in the portal, so you can sneakily put a portal, walk through it with your tactical hand so they can't see you, place a rift, have your team come in, shred them, and then go on for the win. And not to mention sound it makes when people are near you. It's kind of like paranoia from Black Ops 4, but that's so useful when there's people near you. You can tell your teammates where they're at. You can activate the tactical, look around for a little bit. You can have someone who's a Bloodhound on your team hit their pulse, make sure there's no one around you. It really lets your team excel to the end game. Coming in at the number 3 spot is Gibraltar, and I know a lot of you aren't surprised with this. Gibraltar is an excellent hero to have on your team. The way I run my team is a Bangalore, Gibraltar, and a Bloodhound, and that is honestly the best setup that I can think of. The reason why Gibraltar is so good is because he has intangibles that really help you progress to the later end of the game. He has the dome of protection. I believe that's what it's called. It's his tactical ability that lays down a dome for 15 seconds that you cannot take damage from. Really helps you reload, heal, revive somebody. You can do anything in that dome, which it kind of gives you guys breathing room to do something else. You can even call in the bombardment on the enemy team while you're in the dome, and they can't even touch you. that goes on to his ultimate ability, the bombardment. Now it doesn't have that big of an area as Bangalore's Rolling Thunder, but it does a lot more damage, and I find myself using it sometimes to really clear out in a certain spot that I know enemies are lingering in, or towards endgame, or when I've activated the Dome of Shield to get them off us. With that being said, he also has his ability where shield comes out while he's aiming down his gun. It's not like a big shield, but it helps him put up a personal shield that can help you tackle individuals who have higher armor than you, or have a better gun than you. Let's say, you know, any kind of bullet that would possibly hit this shield, you won't take the damage from. Although it does have a recharge rate if you keep taking damage, but it's that little extra buff that can really help you win a gunfight versus somebody else who clearly has the advantage over you. In the number 2 spot, I went ahead and put Bangalore. Now Bangalore is the definition of being like glue. She meshes all the legends together in such a way that makes the team just work. See, I run with Bangalore, Gibraltar, and Bloodhound for the reason being is Gibraltar and Bangalore, they have their Rolling Thunder and then the bombardment that can definitely get you guys some breathing room, while Gibraltar puts up his dome of protection, and Bloodhound can see through all the smoke when using Bangalore's tactical. Now back to Bangalore specifically, she is an excellent legend. That's why she's number 2. I mean, she has the passive ability that when you're getting shot out while running, you dodge the bullets. And then she also has a Rolling Thunder, which doesn't do as much damage, but it can clear a wide area for you. Like it has a bigger radius than Gibraltar's bombardment. She also has the smoke grenades, which I find to be a blessing that this game added this. I fucking love the smoke grenades. Whenever you're in deep trouble, have one of your teammates toss a smoke grenade down. You can do anything. Revive somebody. Have one person rain down fire where the enemies, where their approximate location is, and have them revive you. They can't see you. That's why I put her at number 2. She honestly gives you such a big advantage to clearing out enemies, getting a little bit of breathing room, getting you to that win. Coming in the number 1 spot is, last but not least, Bloodhound. He is an incredibly overpowered hero. He is honestly slept on, in my opinion. Well, he was when the game initially released, but he has such good abilities. I rarely find myself not winning or being close to the top 5 squads left. His ultimate is incredibly overpowered. You know, it gives you the most information possible. Just having a Bloodhound makes a huge difference in any game that you play, and that's why I run him with Bangalore and Gibraltar. All their abilities, tacticals, passives, they mesh together so well. It's really hard not to be in the top of the game when everything comes to a close. His passive is so amazing. What it does, it lets you know within a minute what happened in that area. If someone opened a door, vaulted, reloaded, killed somebody, looted, anything, it lets you know by an indicator when that happened, from 0 seconds all the way to 1 minute. Now his tactical is a pulse. It alerts you of anybody nearby. The only downside to it is other enemies could see you using the pulse, like they can see the pulse coming towards them, but it lets you know if there's any hostiles near you, and it recharges in about 30 seconds, which I think is really good. And you can even use it as a substitute for the ultimate if you don't have the Beast of the Hunt yet, which is actually really good, but you can only use it specifically if Bangalore tosses her smoke grenade down, which will allow you to see enemies in the smoke doing certain tasks. If we talk a little bit about his ultimate, the Beast of the Hunt is actually very good. It almost combines all of his abilities into one. You can see things more clearly than the passive as to what happened within a minute. You can move faster, and enemies are completely red, so you can see them from a distance. It marks them, and their footprints are glowing red, so you can see the direction in which they moved, which all these together makes Bloodhound such an amazing character in this meta, which I'll make a video about soon, about the meta and why Bloodhound, Gibraltar, and Bangalore are so strong together. So if you found the opinion of my top 8 legends close to yours or different, feel free to comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Please be sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll be updated whenever I post. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in. Hummus Thunder out.